Are you wondering how therapy works? My name's Laura Wood-Holden. I'm a psychotherapist here in the UK. So many clients, they come to me with issues that they're wondering, how can a therapist solve this? And I see it all the time online where someone's talking about an issue that they've got in their life, and the advice will be go to therapy. Like, well, what could therapy do for this? And the answer probably isn't as straightforward as you'd think or you'd want it to be. The way that I work is relationally. I work with a lot of trauma survivors, a lot of people who are neurodivergent. Being neurodivergent isn't a reason to go to therapy, but society isn't really set up well for neurodivergent people, so often they experience CPTSD, which is complex trauma. So, in the therapy session, what happens is you start to build a relationship with your therapist. It's called the Therapeutic Alliance, and it means that what you want out of the session is aligned with what I want out of the session, and that we feel warmth towards one another. The Therapeutic Alliance is the number one indicator as to whether the client will have reduction in the symptoms that have led them to go to therapy. So it's really, really important. And I think that this is how therapy works. So getting to know your client means that you're introducing safety to them in a relationship. So it's a relationship where they feel that they won't be judged, that they'll be empathized with, and that they're able to talk about whatever is on their mind. There's no connection with therapists with anyone else in their life, so they can speak openly and honestly about any topic that they want to. And so growing this relationship means that the therapist is able to provide a space where the client can become self-reflective in safety. And once they are able to feel safe in that relationship, they can start processing maybe some of the things that they've gone through. So in therapy, you've got two types of conversation. The story, which is talking about what happened. Other people can tell story, right? The process is what other people don't know. That's the thing that's going on internally. It might be, when that happened, how did you feel? Or it might be, now that you're talking about it, what do you reflect on it? What do you notice now? How do you feel in your body now that we're examining and talking about this? So talking about story is really useful because you do process things when you are telling the story. But therapy often has to be unique to you. So it's your perspective, your experience. No one can tell you that you didn't experience the things that you experienced. And in therapy, when you start to have that relationship, you start to trust, you start to understand yourself, then what you see in the therapy room starts to be reflected in your day-to-day life. You can make decisions that are because that's what you want. You can be more free. You can have more reflexivity. So you're looking at your life and understanding what's going on. And therapy isn't meant to be forever. Therapy is for a period of time. And it can be really difficult when you get to the end of the therapy process, which is where you start to decide to, I'm going to continue this work without the support of the therapist. And so with my clients, usually I like to reduce the session. So it might be like once a fortnight or once a month, and help them to reintegrate all the skills they're learning in the therapy through relationship. It's not learning tools, and see how that is. And if that's too difficult, they can increase the number of sessions they're having. And so sometimes it can take a really long time for safety to be established, and sometimes it can take a really long time for someone to realize what needs processing, and to be able to move from story to process. And that's okay, because there's time and space in therapy for you to do that. So I hope that answers the question, how does therapy work? It's probably not the answer that you thought it might be, but I think it's really important for people to know that being cared for and having compassion towards them will help them heal and reduce the severity of their unpleasant symptoms of poor mental health.